So, Richard, have you seen much demand for the Green Deal in its first months of operation?
Well, I think at this stage we really are just in the moments of people really starting to get the thing properly established in those early periods of rollout. So, yes, I think we all know that demand and take-up is low at the moment, but there is some good news. The Green Deal started.
Okay. And I know there's a lot of worry from certain sections of the industry that the incentives aren't enough. I mean, what's your experience been of that so far?
Well, I think that may well be an area that the government will find it has to do more on, particularly around the cost of finance and the way the loan structures work with a minimum of a 10-year period. So I think these are important areas to carry on developing. But the important thing for me is that government and industry work together on this.
Okay. And do you think that the Green Deal is currently on course to achieve the government's aims and targets with regards to carbon reduction?
Well, I think it has the potential to do that. I think it would be rather optimistic to say that it's currently on course to achieve those numbers. I think there is more that can be done. We've mentioned the importance of incentives. I think also think about delivery partners, the role that local authorities, as we are seeing in some places, the role that housing associations can play, both in addressing their own stock, but also leading neighbourhood initiatives to really roll out the Green Deal. There's more that can be done.
You mentioned housing associations there. I just wanted to ask you, I know some housing associations have been concerned about how putting Green Deal packages together may affect their financing on their mortgages for their large property portfolios. I know you have some experience in this area. I mean, what's your kind of take on that? Do you think that's still a barrier to the scheme for those clients?
Well, some housing associations might be a little bit concerned about taking on additional debt, but I'd be surprised if that was the real barrier. We've seen some issues about access to eco-funding, that there's been some improvement here where in deprived areas now housing associations can access eco for solid wall insulation and hard to reach cavity wall insulation. But at the moment they're not eligible for the Affordable Warmth programme, and I don't think the government is doing enough to embrace them as partners. So there's something happening here, there's more that could be done, and more that could be done which will be to the government's benefit as well as that sector.
When you say there could be more to embrace them as partners, can I ask you to expand on that?
Yes, because it's this point that housing associations not only will house quite a number of people who have and suffer from fuel poverty, but at the same time a lot of their stock is neighbourhood focused. So they could actually lead the charge across the whole neighbourhood to actually enable the Green Deal to be rolled out. And when you get area concentrations, you get economies of scale, and then you start to get costs down, which in turn help create the incentives.
And just moving away from the Green Deal onto the zero carbon homes agenda, I know there's been a lot of concern recently from certain sections of the industry that the government's prevaricating about that and it's making planning difficult. What's your take on that?
Well, I think that having made the significant adjustment a couple of years ago and actually put the zero carbon homes ambition onto a really proper footing in terms of its ability to be practically delivered, there may be some issues around elements that people are concerned about. I don't see a government completely pulling away from this yet.
And what do you think the core message that people like the Minister Ed Davey, who you're speaking with later, need to take away from this conference today?
I think the most important thing is to pick up on this message about green for growth. And in that context, recognise that greening the economy creates work and creates economic activity. And the second thing is, he is going to be surrounded by potential partners in the supply chain and delivery partners. So actually treat this conference as an opportunity to really renew and invigorate those partnerships, because it's with business that he'll do more.
Thanks for your time.